Ow. We heard the customer complaint. 2015 Toyota Tundra. What's the history of the vehicle? Well, about 2 months ago, the owner said that he had a little belt chirp or sound, and he took it to the shop and they found the water pump was leaking a little bit. So they replaced the water pump, replaced the belt, and now this happens. What the heck is going on here? So it certainly sounds like severe belt slip, and it lasted for about 10-15 seconds, and you heard the fan kind of kick in, and then the slip mostly went away, but there's still a chirp. Brand new belt, brand new water pump. Is it an alignment issue? Is it a tensioner that's weak? What would be the first thing you check? Well, first thing I want to check is the actual belt routing. So you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pulleys. So lots of accessories, idlers, tensioners, and let's get an OEM diagram of the belt routing and make sure that's correct. Alright, let's go to all data, punched in the VIN, drive belt, removal and replacement. So if we want to install this belt, perfect, here we go. Here's a diagram. So there's the crankshaft, and then it pulls on the fan, AC compressor, idler, water pump, vane pump, not exactly sure what that is, alternator, tensioner, back to the crankshaft. So I printed that off. Let's go take a peek what's under the hood. So there's the crankshaft pulley, and the belt goes straight across. There's the alternator, and then it goes around the tensioner pulley and then to this vane pump. So it looks like the belt's routed like this, then around the tensioner, and then to the vane pump. Bingo, we're done. This belt is routed wrong. Have I seen this before? Well, yes, I have made the same mistake before on my wife's Nissan Rogue. I remember replacing the belt, and then she drove it to work. And she said it was foggy. She turned the defrost on, and it squealed like a pig. I'm like, brand new belt. What could possibly be wrong? This. So the crankshaft pulley, you see on the OEM routing, it's more than 180 degrees surrounded by the belt, so you can get a good grip on the belt, and it pulls all these accessories. If you route it wrong, and this stretch goes to the alternator and then to the tensioner, well, guess what? First off, the crankshaft pulley will only be, you'll lose like 30% of the actual belt friction surface, and then as the crankshaft pulley pulls on the belt, well, what happens? It would pull on the alternator and then on the tensioner. So it's squealing right at the crankshaft. And basically the owners dropped it off. I diagnosed it in under 5 minutes, and I'm like, hey, I've actually seen this before. The belt's installed wrong. And the shop installed 3 belts in a row, and they were ready to install a new AC compressor. They had no clue why it was squealing so bad. And then the owner's like, hey, they drew some kind of picture on the fuse box. Well, what does that look like? Not like this. See, they drew it straight across and then around the tensioner. Well, it's supposed to be around the tensioner and then around the alternator and the vane pump. So let's get this in the shop. Let's get this fixed up and make sure it doesn't squeal. Quick and easy if you know what to look for. And experience is is pretty important here. Usually, on most belt drive systems, the tensioner is the last item before the belt returns back to the crankshaft pulley. Okay, so it tensions this way. So that's the whole issue with this truck. No parts are going to be required. Alright, the big Tundra is in the shop and belly pan is off. Look at that belt. Alternator, tensioner. We need to go tensioner, alternator. So 14 millimeter nut on a long flex ratchet there. See if I can get to that tensioner. There we go. Okay. Let me slip it off and we'll install it correctly. Alright, there's the after shot. You can see now the belt is wrapped more around the crankshaft pulley to the tensioner and then to the alternator and that vane pump. So let's fire it up, make sure there are no bad sounds, and ship this thing. Not a single chirp there. This truck's fixed, no parts required in 5 minutes. So for anything, just look at service information. It will save you tons of time, headache. I mean, replacing the belt 3 times, that must have taken a few hours. We're done. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. By the way, as a courtesy, I actually cut out and taped the belt layout diagram right here next to this wrong pictogram. I think all manufacturers should do this. Just put a sticker under the hood. They used to do this, and I don't know why they don't anymore, but it can be very helpful in order not to make silly mistakes like that.